How to Look Rich Part 5. I don't think we can really compare Victoria Beckham to regular people, even posh regular people. She's an entertainer, model, fashion designer and celebrity. If she even does pop into a Tesco, the normal rules don't apply for her. She lives in her own world. I do find the word expensive sort of funny. It works for what we're discussing, but the idea of someone saying, "You look expensive," puzzles me. Does it mean, you look the opposite of a cheap date? You look high maintenance? You look like a lot of money has been spent on the things smeared and draped over your body? I do think there are different ways to interpret it. The OP could have said, "I want to look rich," but that may have pushed us into entirely different directions, old money vs new money, etc., with people talking about the really, really rich people they know who go about covered in manure and animal hair. I do think most of us are talking about the same things, though. The sort of people who just look really good, as if they have wealthy, easy lives. The ones with the slim legs and glossy hair and high-quality, well-fitting clothes. It's decades out of date, now, but it is still worth reading, although American Dress for Success for Women. The guy who wrote it was an image consultant, who did a great deal of research into how people should dress for their careers. And I mean proper research. Showing panels of people photos of women in various outfits and saying, who is the boss? Who is the secretary? Who would you hire? He learned a lot about how people perceive intelligence, authority, trustworthiness based on clothes and grooming. He discusses the pitfalls of such things as casual Fridays, undermines women executives' authority, how to command respect in various fields and regions, how to dress for the job you want to be promoted to, even how to attract a rich mate. It's absolutely fascinating. I remember his discussing taking ambitious women from humble backgrounds and schooling them in class and quality. He'd literally send them to the most expensive stores to touch and try on clothes until they could see the difference. Then, with that knowledge under their belts, they could seek out versions they could afford, with careful attention to fit and color. It's from the late 80s, I think, but the main principles still apply. I do. I just looked it up. John T. Malloy. The last edition of Dress for Success for Women was published in 1996, I think. It's out of print, but available used on Amazon. Like I said, the specifics are out of date and for American culture, but he does make some very interesting points about how people perceive us based on our dress, and particularly regarding how women convey or undermine professional authority with their clothes. Speaking of the difference between American and UK cultural perceptions of dress, I think American women tend to go for a much more groomed look. This was startling to me when I moved here, and it's particularly noticeable in newsreaders. American female newsreaders have perfectly coiffed, helmet hair and conservative, but slightly sexy, clothes in bright monochromes. I've sometimes joked that a newsreader in the UK looks like she got drunk last night trying on clothes at H&M, and then woke up in what she was wearing and crawled into work without combing her hair. I've gotten used to it by now, but it was strange at first. I think clothes are a very small part of it. Looking expensive is about looking fit and healthy with a reasonable level of grooming. Being thin doesn't look particularly classy if you are 26 a day thin, with thick makeup to disguise your grey skin. My student daughters look much more expensive than many of their friends, because they exercise and eat properly. They have shiny hair and great teeth. They may have Primark or charity shop clothes rather than designer labels, but they have a definite glow. I've sometimes seen tall, well-built, I guess you could say statuesque, women who have that expensive look, so I don't think it's to do with being slim. It's really intangible, but could be that they are wearing at least one good item, but it's more to do with a total look, as if they are well put together, and have thought about their appearance from top to toe. Also, even if quite large, their clothes fit well. I get what you're saying about class. I'm from a very working class background and people were very conscious about clothes. There was always Sunday best no matter how poor you were. Some of these clothes, especially coats, were beautiful quality and expensively cut. I think I kind of carry that idea through. I'm never scruffy and perhaps come across as too try-hard. I think clothes can be a way of altering how people perceive you. I had a colleague once who said he could always tell when Welsh people were visiting the town, as they were always better dressed than the locals, and probably be in their Sunday best. I hope you are enjoying today's video from Mother's Narrative Network. Please like, comment and subscribe for more daily uploads. I think it varies from person to person along with individual perception, and your face doesn't have to be attractive either. In the early 2000s I was what is preppy, I guess. Was in my early 20s and a slim, but very pronounced hourglass, who thought she was fat, and is now a size 18 hourglass FFS. That'll teach me. I have a face like the back end of a bus, an overbite, but masses of curly hair. I would wear jeans and a rounded V-neck jumper, or blousey top tucked in, or a loose wrap cardi, had a gorgeous purple crochet Topshop one, with cane underneath, suede or velour-fitted blazer worn open, heels, pedal pushers in summer, fitted or tie-back short-sleeved shirt or blouse with it or mock wrap waist striped tops, align cord skirts with cashmere-type V-neck jumpers etc. I walked tall due to a combination of heels and Pilates. Friends always thought I looked expensive and high maintenance, but it took me seconds to get dressed and I'd just chuck things on, leave my hair natural and spend 5 minutes on my awful face blush. They always thought my clothes cost a fortune, and I was often asked if they were designer, but they were always cheap high street, aside from evening dresses. On the other side, I often got called Barbie, and had some people assuming I was a bimbo. So I think individual perception of others is a big thing. What one sees as looking expensive another sees as cheap, weird or tacky, or even trashy. I often see things people say are expensive, or classy looking and I think it looks like cheap market, that only a wench would wear. On the other side, I think how you carry yourself makes a difference. If you walk tall then you do look better. If you slouch, like I do now, don't dress for your figure, or wear things the wrong size, you look worse and less put together. I look a total mess now, which probably suits my face more. And find that the harder I try to look better, or look more relaxed, something I always wanted, the more idiotic I look. Shorty here who has always had people comment positively on their clothing choices, and has given the impressions that A, I have a gigantic wardrobe, I don't, and B, spends a fortune on my clothes, I don't. Yes, I am slim, size 4 to 6, with good hair and skin despite being only 5 feet 2 inches, but I think that the key is that I know A, how to dress for my size, B, always make sure that all my clothes fit well, and C, no matter how inexpensive the item of clothing, I make sure it is made out of quality fabrics. Even when it comes to basic t-shirts, I make certain that they are made of Pima cotton or similar and in plain colors. Certain things I won't skimp on: handbags, shoes, coats, and certain accessories, scarves. These I buy the absolute best possible. One of my most complimented on outfits was from when I was 6 months pregnant with my first child, a pull-on simple white broderie anglaise midi skirt from M&S, a white V-neck t-shirt, no name brand, beige wedge espadrilles. On sale, an ice blue mini Longchamp nylon tote, and a white and ice blue silk scarf thrown around my neck, Hermes. Although I was pregnant and the total cost of the clothing, excluding accessories, was about £50, it still looked expensive, because it was all good quality and fit a look. I have a certain style and I buy clothing which suits it. This means that I have clothes which I still wear from over 10 years ago, which have not dated, because of their quality, and the fact that it fits my style. This tends to be a classic, tailored look, but made not boring by accessorizing. A blogger with great accessible style is my Thai. Her clothing choices are very simple, but she probably had 100 ways with scarves. She definitely is in the classic style categories, but it is interesting to see how she takes a couple simple items of clothing and creates multiple outfits from them. My personal opinion is that women who don't look expensive have tatty hair that needs cutting, coloring or both. You can wear what you want, but if your hair is a mess, you look a mess. I don't mean it necessarily needs combing. Windswept can look glam, and so can hair pulled in a high ponytail, or a comb grip, but hair that is dry, needs roots retouching, or is just shapeless is a no-no. Ditto, IMO, no makeup. I know this is contentious on MN, but hey, it is S&B. IMO, only, very few women over 35ish look okay without any makeup. A bit of light foundation, blusher, mascara and lippy can make tatty look groomed. Scuffed shoes or boots are a no-no, i.e. where the leather is so worn you can see the white or grey underneath. Tatty nails, i.e. dark colors that are chipped. Wearing the wrong clothes for the occasion. A personal hate of mine is older women who wear a fleece or Gore-Tex type jacket and trainers for everything, i.e. supermarket, trips to shops, etc., when they are really for country walks, or when it's pissing it down. Wearing the wrong clothes for the occasion. A personal hate of mine is older women who wear a fleece or Gore-Tex type jacket and trainers for everything, i.e. supermarket, trips to shops, etc., when they are really for country walks, or when it's pissing it down. And the woman I saw the other day, at a family event in a muddy field wearing smart coat and boots with a formal designer handbag looked ridiculous. Everyone else was wearing wellies or hill walking boots. It's not what the clothes cost, but how they fit that counts. Many women seem to hide under baggy clothes, or are popping out of clothes that are too tight. And having some idea of how to put colors, or no color together. Wearing judgy pants. Some people you see look as if they have dressed while wearing a blindfold. I don't like matchy-matchy, but some idea about what goes with what does help. Some women can look stunning in a pair of cheap, but well-fitting jeans, a simple top and one piece of simple, but quality, jewelry like a lovely bangle or earrings. Is it Jilly Cooper who said that there is an enduring myth that upper-class women all have lovely thin ankles? And that it's not true, it's just that any upper-class woman who did not have delicate ankles would make a big effort to hide them. So the only thick ankles you would ever see would be on lower-class women. I feel like I remember there being some comparison to a thoroughbred horse. Is it Jilly Cooper who said that there is an enduring myth that upper-class women all have lovely thin ankles? I don't know if she said it was an enduring myth, but she certainly wrote about it. In Riders, Tori hated her mother sometimes for her ankles slender as a gazelle's, and her high flexible insteps, and think Knightsbridge legs taking a bus through Knightsbridge, and guessing who is a tourist and who is an expensive resident is probably as good a way as any to work out what the markers are. I think a lot is to do with hair, thick, well-conditioned hair. I think there are many factors. I don't think that you have to be either slim or young. It's not just about money either. Women such as Amal Clooney, Victoria Beckham, Toei and the Geordie Shore lot do not look expensive. For despite wearing very expensive clothes, they all look like they are trying too hard to look expensive. One is reminded of Daniela Westbrook and the Burberry fiasco. She single-handedly put me off Burberry for life. I was at Soft Play today, and was thinking about this. I think there are several factors: life, a hard life, financial worries, poor diet, smoking are reflected in your face and skin. Loads of the people there looked hard, they had hard faces. Bling, less is more, money does not buy elegance. Gucci, Chanel etc. can look cheap on the wrong person. Keep it understated. I think people think if I have X and it costs XX, and people know that then they will look expensive. They don't, understated wealth is the best. E.g. Michael Kors bags to me equals chav. Sportswear to and from the gym only. Subtle makeup, groomed hair and nails. My mum has money, but doesn't look elegant, dreadful haircut, smoker, cheap bag, not leather, untailored clothes, e.g. tracksuit bottoms, jumpers and slacks. The things that I think make people look wealthy are impractical, luxurious, show-stopping garments. Not many people could wear a fabulous winter white coat, for example. It would get trashed on public transport, but you'd be okay if you were driven everywhere. Ditto fabulous pale suede boots. Stuart Weitzman do some pale beige suede over-the-knee boots. They are gorgeous, but one trip down to the post office in the rain and they'd be destroyed. Wearing something like that says, I'm too rich to care if they get wrecked, even if they did cost £600. The Stuart Weitzman boots are called Lowland and are £595, if interested. I have a pale, not white, I commute on a train, winter coat from Karen Millen with a deep fur collar and cuffs, which I feel $1 million in, not real fur. Don't tell me off, but it's always in the BL***dy dry cleaners. Some people just don't have style, which counts for looking great. But if you see a not well put together clothes on person, you will be able to tell whether they are expensive or not. There is a lot of quality in expensive things. The producers want their customers to stick with them, and it's also easier to return them when they are damaged. You see the material and detail, and you know that it's quality. Cheap fur and faux fur. Cheap leather and well-made one. Or the material used for a suit. It will boil down to quality, not quantity. You should find a style that works for you too. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Before you go, please like, comment, and subscribe for more daily uploads.